Alright, so let's get started with lesson 12, and here I would like to further improve the settings of our fluid container of the ground dust impact. And first of all, I'd like to begin with the transparency. I like to disable the evaluation first, not to avoid any, slowdown of the FPS or the timeline issues. So the case is that here I would like to go with 0.95 value for the transparency. Let me just gonna go for the set key, and at frame 30 or 35 we're going to take them back to somewhere around 0.65. Okay, and we're going to set the key again. Now for the case of the transparency, there is one very important noticeable point, and the point is that you need to select the container and go inside the graph editor, and here you're going to find that there are three attributes of the transparency that are the RGB. Since it's being going to be the vector, uh, it's not a float point value. There are three channels you need to control. So if in case you wanted to reduce the transparency, or you want to play the frame for, let's say, 20, 25, or 32, whichever value you want, you need to move all three of them. If in any case you want to key from here, and if let's say you're going to change the value over here to 24, you may gonna see some problem, and the problem is that in that case only this channel has moved up. The G and the B channel will remain there, which is at 30. So you need to be very, very careful. Okay, fine, not an issue. Now we would like to improve the section of our opacity graph. Well, for this kind of reaction, I would like to give some softer values of the dust in that way, and it is not required to give them the denser value like the way we gave in the first reactions. And I would like to give the input bias to zero point 0.1 or maybe 0.050. Okay, this you may could go experiment. If you want some more dust, you may could go for 0.15 or zero point 0.2, but I guess 0.15 will going to be the most ideal values. The render interpolator should be the smooth, and the quality should be 0.5. The self shadow is already on. We don't need to give the more darker value because this being a lighter fluid, so we want them the shadow opacity to be a little down. And okay, we're gonna come back to the lighting section. So I guess most of the settings are pretty much done. We are not required to play around with any other values. The turbulence has also been keyed up. So let's just do one thing. We're gonna crank up with the resolution, and we'll just take a quick play. So yeah, here you can see that now we are not getting bothered because of the blobbiness, or you may could say the initial problems of the fluid, because we have already keyed down our fluids. You could imagine that a nice version of the shock waves have just, come up through these techniques, and then later on you may could also gonna fix them up by just playing with the, you can say, the transparency of your fluids. All right, so, and I've already shown you with the play blast in the beginning of the lesson 010. So these are the only settings for this, impact upon the ground dust. And I hope you enjoy that one, this lesson. And one thing you need to be taking care is that the base resolutions I would like to go for will be finally the 125. So with that, I'm gonna get very detailed amount of fluids. So of course I can't play that in front of you because the resolution will going to be pretty much high, and we're going to slow down my recording process. So the final resolution will going to be 125, and we have already set up the values of the ground dust impact fluids. Okay, now it's time to move to the lesson 013, where we'll like to discuss about how to go to cache out these fluids, and also to talk about the rendering setup for the fluids and all. Okay, so let's see you in the next lesson, lesson 013.